Are y'all ready to eat? Okay, if you would stand, I'll ask our National Executive Committee, alternate Executive Committee to turn thanks over our food.
Let us pray. Almighty Father, bless the hearts that are represented here this afternoon, for you know their needs. And Lord, bless the food that has been prepared for us for our body and our nourishment. For these and other blessings we ask in thy holy name. Let every heart say, amen.
You are. Okay, we have some people that's going to be leaving early, so we're going to go ahead and start. If you are eating, go ahead and continue to eat. Everything will be fine. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. My name is Charlie Wessinger. I'm the post commander of Post 145 Douglasville. I've been a member here for 44 years. Thank you. I also serve on the national level for the national organization. I represent the state of Georgia on the national level. Before we start our program, I've got some guests from the Department of the American Legion that I'd like to recognize. Before we start that, we're going to salute the colors. Would you please stand?
Present, huh? Order up, huh?
You lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Okay. First, I want to recognize our alternate National Executive Committeeman, Charlie French. He and I served together on the national level. And he's retired from the Department of State of Georgia with a DOT. They still come by and cut his grass occasionally. I'd like to recognize our state commander, Bill Linehop, and his wife, Darlene. I'd like to recognize our state president, Susan Mash, and her husband, Tom Mash. I'd like to recognize our past department commander, Faye Casper, past national historian. I'd like to recognize Jesse Campbell and his wife, Scarlett. From the Department of Veteran Services, Dan Cravey and his wife, Laura. Mike Knowles and his wife, Catherine. This one I'm going to abbreviate a little bit. George and your wife, Cindy. He has got a big old name, and I'm not going to mess it up. From the Legion family, I'd like to recognize our auxiliary president of the post, Bunny Brown. Would you ask Jay to come out? He's probably in the kitchen. Our SAL Commander Jay Martinez. He's responsible for the food tonight. Let's give him a big hand. Thank you, Jay, and thank all the people that helped you with the food. I want to thank the auxiliary for the decorations and the involvement they had. Our Legion Rider Director, Jimmy Clayton. I recognize Mayor Lepley. Her post adjutant also serves as Department Sergeant of Arms, Assistant Sergeant of Arms. Mayor. Now, we'll go into our program. I'll turn the program over to Ramona Jones for the presentation for tonight. Ramona.
Thank you, Commander. Can you hear me? Okay, I want to make sure. Sometimes I walk and talk very light. Welcome. American Legion Post 145 is proud to celebrate our 21st Annual Community Award Night, and we are so honored that you decided to be with us tonight. On behalf of our Commander and American Legion Post 145, we are honored to celebrate the greatness of the men and women who have gone far beyond the ordinary to make a difference in our community. These men and women are considered world-class. They are critical thinkers. They have set standards where others will be judged. They have chased perfection to achieve excellence. And I, as a leader, I consider these young men, or these men and women, the quarterbacks of their operation. They are the go-to employees. They are dependable. They are exceptional men and women who are extraordinary performers in the workplace. The list goes on and on. So in the interest of time, I would like to present these men and women to you tonight. And we can talk about their character and what happens, and this is precisely why we are here today, to recognize and celebrate their accomplishments. When I call the recipient's name, I will ask that their manager accompany them, so I will ask their leader to say something special or tell us why they were chosen as the Employee of the Year for their particular organizations. And it is an honor for us to render this and to host and celebrate these special employees tonight. In the interest of time and no further ado, I will start with the Douglas County. We have the Douglas County Employee of the Year, and that employee is Raymond D. Martin. He is the Employee of the Year, and Eric Linton will be presenting an award to him tonight.
Say a few words about you. Okay. I got a couple minutes.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah, no, that's not that much stuff. Okay. Well, thank you. It's a true privilege and an honor to be here tonight, and I'm glad. I received this award 2 years ago. Can y'all hear me okay? Everybody hear me? Okay, good. I received it 2 years ago, so it is a great honor to be here tonight. For those of y'all who don't know, I am Eric Linton. I'm the county administrator for Douglas County. I've been with the county for 13 years, and I've known this gentleman, Mr. Martin, for of course he's been here for about 15 years now, and so he's been here a couple of years more than I have. The a couple of things I want to say about Mr. Martin. He's been a true asset to the county and has been a great confidant over the years. As my role has changed with the county, he's really helped to get through some difficult situations in terms of any kind of personnel or other issues that may arise. Ray is the Douglas County Law Enforcement Academy first class. He came to the first class of that, and that was something he wanted to point out, make sure everybody knew tonight, since we have a lot of law enforcement folks here tonight. So y'all, I know. Don't get him at the checkpoint later. Let Ray go on through. So. But anyway, He also is a class of 2005, the Leadership Douglas class of 2005, a member of that as well, which is a great accomplishment. He's a member of the Kiwanis International, was a board member from 1994 through 1998. There just before joining, Douglas County. United Way, Georgia board member, and also part of the YMCA board in St. Cloud when he was in Minnesota. Ray's not from Douglas County, for those of y'all who don't know, but he is originally from Rome, New York, but he has toured parts of the country through his job career. He's moved numerous times during his career. He's an undergraduate from the State University of New York. He also has a master's in public administration with a specialty in personnel and labor relations from Ohio State. Part of Ray's former jobs, he had to work a lot with the union. He was the management side, but had to work with the union side at the paper mills. He worked at one of the big paper mills in Jessup, Georgia, right before joining us in Douglas County. Ray also, he got assigned a few years ago to be the liaison for the Cultural Arts Council of Douglasville, and he continues to work with that council, and that's a good member. The liaison keeps the Board of Commissioners informed of what's going on with the Cultural Arts Center. He also has worked with the Chamber of Commerce and several subcommittees related to HR and public personnel matters as well. He became a certified human resource manager in 2003. Ray also, in 2011, just 2 years ago, received the Public Administrator of the Year from the American Society of Public Administration. So that was a great career accomplishment. And he has been our personnel director for 15 years. And it's with great pleasure tonight that I, along with the Board of Commissioners, have selected Ray Martin as the Douglas County Employee of the Year. Thank you. All right, good. Thank you. That's good. Thank you.
That's what happened last time. Thank you so much. Let's give them another round of applause. I would be remiss tonight to recognize that we have some elected officials here, and I'd like to have them to stand. Any elected official, if you're here. I think we have one. Our Mayor of Douglasville, Mayor Harvey Persons. Thank you for coming. Next on our list of special people tonight, we have Trina C. Smith, who's the Employee of the Year for the Douglasville, Douglas County Water and Sewer Authority. Could you please come forward? And Sydney Miller, Director of Human Resources, will be presenting this award.
Good evening. The mayor asked me to keep my speech short so he could use my extra time, so we'll do that. I'd like to present Trina Smith, who is our HR General Services Clerk. We were a little hesitant about hiring her a few years ago because before she got here, the last two jobs she had before WSA, her positions were eliminated due to downsizing. So we were afraid she was going to bring that karma with her. But that was actually 14 years ago, and she's still with us, and we hope that karma was left behind. So I'm going to read something. This is actually the presentation we made to WSA for Trina. Trina's leadership skills are evident in everything she does, whether for WSA or for the community. Trina is never afraid to take on a new project or task and will take ownership of the project until completion. Trina's dedication to the health and wellness of every authority employee and their family is evident in the wellness program Trina has coordinated and advocated for since 2011. In 2011, Trina was selected as a wellness advocate for the authority's wellness program, Health to Offer, which is called H2O. Go figure. The responsibility and duties of the wellness advocate were added to Trina's already full plate of duties and responsibilities as HR General Services Clerk, duties which she performs with grace and compassion every day. Instead of shrinking from the challenge of creating a new wellness program, Trina met the challenge with passion and energy that has made H2O one of the most successful employee programs to date at the authority. Some of the successes of the H2O program have been, first is our health fair. We've had 2 health fairs in the last 2 years with over 60 employees participating in each one. And at the first one, we actually had to send an employee straight to the emergency room because their blood sugar level was so high it would not even read on the chart. So that was one. And the second one is Mission Slim Possible, which is a weight loss challenge that Trina came up with, also the name, where we had 102 out of 190 employees participate, with over 1,200 pounds lost by those 102 employees during that time. And yes, I did lose some, but I gained it back. We have also started doing 5K walks and runs. In March, we actually had 22 employees participated in a 5K walk run in Roswell. And we are actually anticipating, we actually already have over 50 people signed up for the June Blake Gamble walk run at Boundary Waters. And finally, well, not finally with the speech, I didn't want you to get too excited, but finally we had 48 employees qualify for BMI healthcare reductions on their insurance premiums, most of which would not have qualified before the wellness program that Trina's been advocating. Trina goes above and beyond to make sure that the Human Resources Department is meeting the needs of all authority departments. Trina works tirelessly with every level employee to determine their needs and the best method to meet those needs. When an employee has a benefit question or a problem, Trina is the first person they call, mainly because they don't want to call me, and Trina is never satisfied until she has found the perfect solution to the employee's request or problem. Without Trina's selfish dedication and commitment to the wellness program, H2O would not have been as successful as it is. Although it's hard to say if the program has saved lives, we are certain without a doubt it has extended lives. And we thank Trina Smith, our employee of the year. Congratulations. She won it, not me. Stop.
Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause once again. Next, we have the Douglas County Sheriff's Department, and we have about 3 individuals tonight that we will celebrate. We have Julian Ridge, Civilian Employee of the Year. We have recipient Lieutenant Lamar Newborn, and we have Deputy Ashley Hill, who is the Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. And Lieutenant Lamar Newborn is the Corrections Officer of the Year. And Chief Deputy Stan Copeland will be presenting these awards.
I think we got all of you, didn't we? Good. Well, first of all, I want to thank the Legion tonight. What a wonderful, wonderful time it is each year. You know how to get a bunch of firemen and deputies and police here. You just feed them, right? So, and it works, and it's worked for 21 years. It was wonderful tonight. We thank y'all so much. This really is it's a special award. I've been with the county 36 years, and I didn't realize it had been 21, but it's something that we look forward to every year, and just how much we appreciate it. But I'm honored tonight. I've got 3 employees up here that are truly, truly great employees. They would tell you in a minute that it's a team effort. as you look around, and there'll be a lot of folks getting things tonight, but it is a team effort. Community service is a team effort, and public safety especially. So, and it starts with our civilians. Years ago when they asked us, hey, can you pick an employee of the year, we said, that's really tough, because certain people, it's kind of hard to shine, the law enforcement, corrections, and also we came up with this category. And the first one I want to tell you about is Jillian. Jillian here, she's a second generation. We have a little nepotism at the office, but that's all right, because we end up with great employees. So Jillian, her mom's out here, Tina. Tina has been with us about 30 years in our training and records division, and Jillian is her daughter, and I guess it got in her blood, because when she was very young, she came to us. We had a part-time opening in SID, which is our Narcotics Vice Division, and we needed a part-time clerical position. Well, I think that hooked her. She got down there, and they begged me and the sheriff and said, can you make her full-time? This is a wonderful worker, and but that position soon ran out, and Jillian transferred to our records division. Well, as many of y'all know, we have a new jail. Started off, and we moved in December. Well, when we moved in December, we had to move our records with us. Everything had to move with us, and Jillian, assigned to records, helped move and categorize and set up and carry all of these 40 years worth of records, computer, microfilm, regular records, and all that. We take about 80,000 calls for service a year. So you can imagine the daunting task. But the key to that is they had to do it, the whole records division had to do it while we still maintained operation. So Jillian went in, carried all the records over there, helped set them up, and I think it's about 6 weeks ago she got promoted to records, one of our records supervisors. So a great employee. Next is Lieutenant Lamar Newbern. Lamar, he's a career man. He's been with Douglas County since 1979. He started at the water department. He said, this ain't for me. He said, I got to go police somewhere or do something. So he ends up at the sheriff's office and transfers with us. He spent most of his career, he's either a patrol supervisor and then a supervisor in our criminal investigation division. But then he had a calling. A few years ago, he was promoted to lieutenant and placed in charge of our security and maintenance division, which oversees the entire facility as far as maintenance. Again, I want to talk about the move, because we went from 100,000 square feet at the old jail to 500,000 square feet at the new jail. Lamar was in charge of that entire move, and to make sure that when we got over there, everything worked. Well, guess what? We got over there, everything didn't work. So Lamar was spent countless hours in the middle of the night, on the weekends, up and down, making sure that the staff and the inmates and everybody was safe, was all of these issues were taken care of, and it was a tremendous undertaking, and we couldn't have done it without you. Okay? And finally, we have Deputy Ashley Hill. She's one of our new girls on the block. She just came to work for the sheriff's office back last year, I think April of 2012. Ashley was a probation officer and decided she wanted to do some real police work, and came and applied at the sheriff's office, and immediately you just have to meet Ashley to know what a special person she is. I think her years, you can see her advanced years working in probation, she kind of got a feel of the criminal element, because some of these veteran deputies need to pay attention. Ashley went to mandate, was certified in July, went on our field training program for about 3 months, and then was cut loose. And since she was turned loose, the criminal element out there has had some trouble. Two particular instances, we had a burglary in progress call down on the east side. Deputy Hill, while everybody else was going towards the scene, she kind of slowed down, took a little look. We had a special lookout on a guy in a red hoodie. Well, she sees a guy and he has no shirt on. So she pulls over, goes down and checks him, finds the red hoodie, finds all the property stolen from the burglary, and arrests the guy there on the scene. That was just one incident. Just a few weeks later, we had another burglary in progress, and so we send our expert here. And she gets down there, and sure enough, the house just doesn't look right. She checks it and finds the door kicked in. Hears folks inside, gets her back up there, goes in, catches another burglar inside a home. Once she got in, though, she found a gun laying inside on the floor. When she got to checking and got with the investigators that arrived, they determined that this group had also done, the night before, the gun had been stolen in a whole series of entering autos that we had. So our investigation division was able to clear up not only that burglary, but a whole series of car break-ins and recover property. And this is all, folks, and she hasn't even been on the road a year, so she's doing a great job. We gotta have a picture.
I know you guys know how much. Raise yourselves and then go ahead and turn your head away. No, this one.
Thank you, Chief Deputy Copeland. Next, we have the Douglas County Fire EMT. Firefighter of the Year is Lieutenant Jeff Zachmeyer, and EMT of the Year is Christian Baker. And Chief Scott Spencer will be presenting these awards.
Well, I too would like to thank the American Legion for doing what y'all have done for the last 21 years for us. This really is awesome. We do appreciate it every year. Y'all always make it special for us, and we just appreciate everything that y'all do, not only for us, but for the entire community. So thank y'all. Well, first of all, I'm going to talk about Christian Baker. Chief Copeland kind of stole a little bit of my thunder. You know, we in the fire department have some nepotism going on too. Christian is a relatively new addition to our department. He's been with us about a year. His dad also works for our department. So he really is a chip off the old block. So Wayne's his dad, and he's sitting right here, and I know he's got to be proud of him. Christian always has a smile on his face, as you can tell. He's compassionate in the way he cares for his patients. He works on one of our busiest ambulances, and he never complains. I know that's hard to believe. A fireman doesn't complain, but he doesn't. He really doesn't. His station officer had these words to say about him. He comes to work every shift with a positive attitude and an eagerness to learn as much as possible. Our 2013 EMT Firefighter of the Year, Christian Baker. Lieutenant Jeff Zachmeyer is our firefighter of the year. We call him Red for a reason. Again, that nepotism thing, we've got two other Zach Myers that work for the fire department. And their dad also worked for the fire department as a volunteer back in the 70s and 80s. So it really is a family tradition. He started his career as a jailer with the sheriff's department, and then Chief Copeland said, "Oh, no way." And no, actually, Jeff felt called to be a firefighter. So he came to work for us, and he worked his way up through the ranks to his current position as lieutenant. We, being us old folks like me, we all watched him mature and resolve to be the best officer possible when he made lieutenant. He's shown a commitment to excellence by trying to learn all he can so that he can take care of his people. And that's what every officer in our department strives to do, is take care of his people. He often helps our training division teach recruit classes, and he always maintains a never give up attitude. Our firefighter of the year this year is Lieutenant Jeff Sattmeyer.
If y'all could. You want them on this one? Okay, fine. Next on our program, we have the Georgia State Patrol. We have Karen Egan, who is post number 4 Georgia State Patrol Employee of the Year, and Sergeant Daryl Irvin will be the presenter. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, like everybody else, I would like to thank, on behalf of the Georgia State Patrol, me and Miss Karen, the American Legion for everything they've done. And I also want to express thanks to all of y'all. We know we aren't part of Douglas County as far as a facility in this county, but we spend about 80% of our law enforcement time over here. Some of our troopers feel like they own part of Thornton Road, as many crashes as we work. But I am really, again, like everybody else, pleased that somebody in the community takes time to thank our employees, because I know I don't have enough time to do my job, much less anything else anymore. Everybody else probably feels the same, high-speed society. But Miss Karen, she's been with the State Patrol and serving the citizens of Georgia for 34 years. To me, that's something. If you can do a government job for 34 years and put up with everybody inside and outside, she's really done something. And I have to boast on her a little bit, because she's our mother. Troopers, law enforcement officers, we're all the same. Sometimes we have to have somebody kick us out of the post or the office to go do our jobs. A lot of times that's the supervisor, but in our case it's Miss Karen. She'll get us out there, she'll get us working, and then all the trouble that we stir up, she's the one that has to deal with it back at the post, because there's nobody there but her and the inmate. So we tell everybody who runs the post, it's not really the post commander, it's Miss Karen. She runs everything. When you call the post, she's the one you're going to end up talking to on the phone. When you come in needing a report or something else, she's going to be the one that handles it. So she is our first line of defense. And I tell everybody, the unique part about Miss Karen is everybody on the State Patrol has dealt with her at some point during their career, because she spent a large majority of it at headquarters and personnel. So every problem that somebody's had or every question that somebody's had, she's dealt with on that end. And she's answered their questions professionally. If she doesn't know the answer, she goes gets the answer. So I tell everybody, she's got a lot of experience that we're going to sorely miss. And on the other end, when somebody comes to the post and they need something and they've already been riled up on the side, she's the first person that they see, and she always has a positive attitude, always. I come in on some days and I don't want to talk to anybody. I'll slam the office door, don't want to have anything to do with anybody. But Miss Karen, she never has a bad word to say about anybody or anything, and she's also the first person to come and ask you how you doing, because she truly, truly cares about people. And I tell everybody that's something rare in life today, to have somebody who cares so much about people. And she has her own problems, but she never throws them out there. You have to dig at her to ask her if something's wrong, because you wouldn't know about it. She's just so happy to do her job. And as a supervisor and as a fellow employee, I have to tell her I thank her very much. And Miss Karen, thank you. And I also told her she's going to have to give a speech, but I'll let that one go for tonight.
It's really an honor to receive this. Biggest honors the last few years working with Villa Rick at the Post, because I retire in the end of the month. So,
Stan, come on up here. Come on up here and get your picture with Miss Karen. Come on. I'll crowd in and see if we can get everybody. She's going to be home all the time.
thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ms. Karen, on your retirement. Congratulations. Next, we have the Georgia Department of Veterans Service Employee of the Year, and we have George Cavanabio, and I cannot pronounce it, and I apologize for that. Department Service Officer of the Year, and then we have Service Officer Dan Cravey presenting the award. And George, when you come up, could you just pronounce your name for us?
Caravaggio.
That's beautiful. Say it one more time. It's beautiful.
Caravaggio.
Yeah.
Everybody calls him something different. I call him Caravaggio. He says Caravaggio. He said many times it doesn't matter as long as we call him when it's time to eat. He'll be there. George has worked for the Georgia Department of Veterans Service for about 25 years. Started out in Macon as the manager of the office there. Then he came to work at the Claims and Appeals Divisions in Decatur about 10 years ago. He has done an excellent job. He served in the military as a helicopter pilot. He's retired from the U.S. Army as a Warrant Officer 4. George is my assistant director. I have recently had an extended illness, was out of the office for, I haven't been working over 5 months. In fact, I go back to work Wednesday, be the first time in 6 months. And George took charge. He did a great job. Things kept going as if I was there, maybe better than if I was there. He did a great job. He is a very strong advocate for veterans, and we are proud of George tonight for winning this award. Thank you. I'd also like Mike Knowles to come up. He's the American Legion State Service Officer. He was part of this nomination process. Thank you.
Next, we have the City of Douglasville Employee of the Year. Howard Clark is the Employee of the Year for the City of Douglasville, and Mayor Harvey Persons will be presenting.
I see the deputy chief's already gone. He said that when I got up here, he didn't want me to talk too long, take up much of his time. But appears he got up here before I did. But where's Sid? Sid still, thank you. So I got some of Sid's time. But I won't take but a minute. But let me read just a little brief something here, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I know about Howard and how we choose the Employee of the Year for the City of Douglasville. First of all, the City of Douglasville Employee of the Year for 2013 began his career with the city in July 1989. Now, Howard, you don't look old enough to have been with the city that long. But he was originally hired as a laborer in the maintenance department. He's worked on a number of projects such as building maintenance, street maintenance, equipment maintenance, parades, festivals. Currently, Howard works on the sanitation department knuckle boom loader truck. Did I get that right, Greg? Okay. Picking up yard waste and bulky waste throughout the city of Douglasville. Now, Howard is married to Miss Benita, who is here with us tonight. And now, she doesn't look old enough to have been married to Howard for 31 years, does she? You married her young, didn't you? Yeah. But they've been married 31 years. They have 3 sons who are with us tonight, Howard Jr., Jarvis, and Jury. They also have 2 grandchildren who are here with us tonight. So his family is a member of Mount Olive Church in Douglasville. Howard was born and raised right here in Douglasville, went to school at Stewart Middle and then at Lithia Springs High School. Born, raised, continues to stay, live, work in Douglasville, which we are very glad. Let me read you something that Greg Roberts wrote, who is director of our maintenance and sanitation department. And Howard reports to Greg. It says, Howard Clark is one of the most reliable employees at the city of Douglasville. He is a true example to his co-workers and is a great example to younger employees. He can be counted on to get the work done, and there will be no work left behind to do when Howard leaves. It says one thing that Howard understands is that our customers, listen to this, our customers are our residents, and our residents are our customers. And as we serve at the pleasure of the great people of Douglasville, Howard Clark works every day with that spirit in mind. I've never had one complaint, not one. I hope Howard doesn't ever run for mayor. I've never had not one complaint from a resident or even a coworker, but rather just the opposite, as I've received many calls and comments from the public over the years as to how Howard Clark handles himself in the field. Howard understands that the resident is always right, even when they might not be. And we never have any of that. All of our residents are always right. It says Howard can be counted on to perform basically every aspect of the maintenance and sanitation department. Now, first of all, I want to thank the American Legion for having this and how important it is to recognize all of the employees of the city of Douglasville as well as Douglas County. And several of you have heard me say this on many occasions, and I'm going to keep saying it. Some of us are the folks that get up here or get to get up here and give the speeches, but it's each and every one of you that helped make this one of the greatest places in America to live. It's people like Howard Clark and each and every one of you. It's not us. It's not the elected officials. We just get to serve and get up here a lot of times and give the speeches, but it's each and every one of you. And I say that because I've lived in this community for 35 years. I watched a lot of you grow up. I've watched a lot of you have kids, and I've watched a lot of you, as has been mentioned already, grow, mature, develop. I've seen a lot of you that have started with these departments that have been up here over the years. grow up, have kids. Some of those kids go to work, same departments. But it's a great community, and you're the folks that make it that way, not us. You are, and we appreciate it. So you may ask yourself, well, how do I know Howard Clark? What gives me the ability to get up here and recognize the Employee of the Year for the city of Douglasville? Well, the first thing, I'm the mayor. And I get to pick the Employee of the Year. So you ask, well, how do you do that? Well, when I first came into office about this, time last year, they told me, the American Legion is so gracious, going to have this event and recognize you, the employees, the great employees of our city and great county. And they said, you're going to get to pick the Employee of the Year. Well, now, believe it or not, I don't know all of the employees in the city of Douglasville. I'm working very hard to get to know each and every one of them personally. So I said, well, let me tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to charge the staff with going out there and talking to their employees. And we're going to have the employees nominate the Employee of the Year. Who's the person that they think best exemplifies who should be the Employee of the Year? And we're going to let them vote from their peers based on what they see every day in the job that they do and what they do and how they do it. And then I want you to turn that into me, and then I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to sort through it, and then I'm going to talk and find out and get to know a little bit about it, the people that are nominated. Well, this year, Howard Clark got more votes from his peers than any other person in the city of Douglas. Well, in the police department, we do it a little differently with the police department. And you're going to get to hear the chief if I don't take up all his time. But they turn in who they think is the best Employee of the Year and who best exemplifies the job that should be done. Howard Clark got more votes than any other employee in any other department. So I'm going down the list, and I look, and I got to confess, I look, who is Howard Clark? Now, listen, I didn't know the name. But I knew Howard Clark. You see, I've lived in Douglasville 35 years, and for the last 18 years, you could walk to my house in about maybe in about 10 minutes from here, because see, I live right downtown Douglasville. And I called up Greg Roberts and I said, who is Howard Clark? And Greg starts to tell, he said, well, let me tell you, he said about Howard Clark. He said he's the knuckle truck, is that right? Knuckle boom truck driver, and he's the one that goes around and helps see that we keep the city clean. And I went, what? I know who Howard Clark is. I don't know Howard's name, but I knew Howard because I've lived right over here on Pinecrest for the last 18 years, and I've seen Howard Clark on that knuckle truck because when I cut grass or I trim trees and the stuff that I pile up and the whatnot, and I leave out early in the morning, I'd call Greg Roberts after the weekend and I'd say, Greg, I know my garbage pickup day's not till Wednesday, but it's fixing to rain and I don't want, and I wasn't the mayor. I was just, not that that makes a difference, but he'd say, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. We'll get it done. And sometimes before I'd leave that morning going to work, I'd see out there, here's this knuckle boom truck. And here's this guy up there, and I don't know how to operate one, but Howard does. And I'd watch. And I'd wave or I'd leave and I'd speak and he's waving and smiling, just like now. He's smiling, got a big smile on his face. And I come home that night, there's not a stick. There's not I'm talking nothing in my yard. And now here's the good part. You've heard the old saying, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. I don't go in and mama's, they came and they left a bigger mess than was out there before you got through with it. And she just, I mean, for 18 years, she taught, So she got to where, and, I asked Howard if he knew where I lived, and I said, you remember that lady that takes you Cokes out? I'd come home, and she said, they've been here again today. This is the darndest thing I've ever seen. And they're the nicest people. I said, nicer than me? She's, mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But the old deal, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. You got a mess in the yard. Howard exemplifies that thing called customer service. And when I talked to Greg, and Greg said, well, let me explain to you who Howard is, and he started. Well, I didn't know Howard's name, but am I right? He got about halfway. I said, I know who you're talking about. I know Howard Clark. I've known Howard Clark for the last 18 years. Howard Clark, I'll tell you something else, and I'm going to get through. Greg says, usually with our trucks and all, we got some pretty big trucks, and you put somebody out there and you want to make sure they got a CDL license. And Greg said, Howard doesn't have a CDL license, but usually the guy that's driving the truck that's got the CDL license, you send him out, he's the guy that's in charge, except if Howard's on the truck. And Greg said, I tell him, now I want to tell you something. When you go out there, Howard's in charge. Howard says, go here. You go. I don't care what you want. Greg was telling me, we were talking about when we had Howard up in my office. He said, let me tell you something. I'm out there in the truck. Howard says, turn here. He said, you know what? We're going to turn here. But the point being, it's people like Howard and each and every one of you that make this city and this county what it is. It's not us, the elected officials. It's you. And it's people like Howard and the families that y'all have, the examples you set for others, the examples you set for your employees, and you make them bring it up to a higher standard. It's not, like I said, it's not the elected officials. It's not us. It's each and every one of you. It's the Howard Clarks. And from my heart, we appreciate what you do. We appreciate the Howard Clarks, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you for the great job you do. And Howard, thank you for the job you do. And I appreciate you. And Sid, thank you for the extra time.
Our next recipient is from the City of Douglasville, from the City of Douglasville Police Department. First, we have Stephanie Hoofs. She's the Civilian Employee of the Year. We have Detective Donna Kimbrell, Officer of the Year. Corporal Wayne Kelly, Supervisor of the Year. And presentation will be given by Police Chief Chris Womack. Let's give them a round of applause.
First off, I'd like to say God is great all the time. Amen. Amen. God is great all the time. I know looking around this room, some of y'all knew before I came over to this side of the law and watched me grow up here and are sitting there saying, you got that right, Slick. For you to be standing up there as our police chief, you better be saying God is good. I've been so blessed to grow up here in Douglasville. Can't tell you how much I look forward to this every year. I can't believe it feels like it's been about 3 months since we were in here. Really, that's in my mind about how long it seems like it's been since we were all together enjoying the fellowship. Post 145, I can't thank y'all enough. One of the great things about living here in Douglasville, in this great city, is a lot of times you hear about people that are in public service not feeling the love. Well, I don't think that's the case here in Douglasville and Douglas County, because we do feel the love constantly. I can't tell you how many times I've had the blessing of being in a drive-through line, not knowing who's sitting in the car in front of me. I get up there and they say, sir, they took care of your meal for you. The car in front of me, and I ain't even got a clue who it was. And it just, you know, that makes me want to dig down a little deeper and try a little harder and give a little more. I feel so blessed to be standing here tonight as y'all's police chief and being able to recognize these hard chargers that we got. I tell you what, like the mayor said, it's not about the people who give the speeches. It's about the people that's out there letting these people get up here and give the speeches. It's what it's about. I am surrounded by such a gifted group of servants that give way beyond what a lot of them are expected to give, and they do it. And I get so many positive feedback. I don't get a lot of those complaints on my people. I get a lot of positive recognition. You know, one thing that's different this year is last year I had 22. This year I'm down to 12 hairs. But I still feel blessed to be here with y'all. Wait till next year. I'll be thankful if I got 8. You know, I've heard a couple of my comrades get up here tonight and crack a couple of jokes. And one thing that stood out to me tonight as I was sitting there listening to everybody give the talk is obviously the State Patrol has got enough time to send their post commanders out to Toastmasters. Have you ever heard somebody give a smoother recognition speech than what that gentleman gave? That was awesome. You're making us look tough up here. But we're going to move right along. And unfortunately, one of my employees had a family commitment. And on that note, I want to say if you got a loved one sitting here beside you tonight that allows you to do what we have to do, let's give them a hand. Because I tell you what, without the support of our family, there's none of us can get out here and do what we got to do. If we ain't got things right at home, you sure can't get out here and dig around in the mess we have to dig around in every day to take care of everybody else's problems. So I thank y'all. I thank the family members that have our back, that have our support. Thank y'all for being here too tonight. Stephanie Hoofs is our civilian employee of the year. She can't be with us. Stephanie had a family commitment. I want to tell you a little bit about Stephanie, though. She's been with us a long time. I'm saying Stephanie's probably got 16, 17 years with us. She is in a job that I can't imagine doing. She is one of our evidence technicians. Right now, she's our only evidence technician. And that is such a meticulous job to go out and work these crime scenes. I also want to, you know, when I'm talking about our crime scenes, I want to talk about how we work with the Sheriff's Department. We interact a lot with the Sheriff's Department, and it is a community effort with what we've going on in law enforcement. And I'm not embarrassed to tell you, stand up here, I know for a fact it hasn't always been that way. My hat goes off to Phil Miller for creating an environment where we can work together as a team because our citizens deserve it. There's way too much. Business is good in law enforcement. We ain't got no downturn. There's plenty of folks wanting to go to jail out here in Douglasville. So there's plenty to go around for everybody, and the sheriff recognizes that, and we do work together. We got a lot of joint efforts, and then, you know, with our crime scene unit, we do that. We go back and forth a lot, and we help each other, and y'all deserve it. And you get a better end product. You get better service because we do work together. But Stephanie does a great job. She's a long-term employee with us. She went from everything radio operator. She's such a solid employee. I'll be honest with you, we begged her for years to go to mandate. And that wasn't in her heart. She didn't want to do that. But she is one jam-up professional that does a methodical job at what she does. Working these crime scenes sometimes means being out there all day and into the night. And I'm very proud of her. But like I said, she can't be here with her family. But Stephanie does an awesome job. And if y'all see her, give her a hug because she's making you proud. I promise you that. Next employee that we're going to recognize is, and by the way, 2/3 of these that we're talking about are just like the mayor said, it's peer recognition. That's how Stephanie got it. She's voted on by her peers, and to me that speaks a lot when your peers pick you and say, hey, you're the best we got, you're getting it done for us every day. The next one I'm going to talk about is our supervisor of the year. This gentleman's name is Wayne Kelly. He's a long-term employee with us. Wayne has got, let's see, how many years you got with us, Wayne? 17 years. Also want to recognize a couple of his family members. He's got his 2 kids here tonight, John and Haley, are here with us supporting Wayne Kelly. We recently got into a new business with the police department. And, you know,
Once a Marine, always a Marine. I'm up for a challenge. Anything they want to throw my way, I'm like, yeah, we'll take it, and we'll make it work. Well, I thought police officers could sometimes get in some bad situations where, you know, folks are always complaining, I didn't deserve that ticket. You know, they just picking on me because I drive a red sports car. The job this man's doing is city code enforcement. And when he and his employees roll up on the scene, there ain't nobody happy to see them coming usually. And, but I tell you what, the job that they're doing makes us all look good. Nobody wants to see a junk next door to them, whether it's your business next door or whether it's the house next door. And we took this over a year or so ago with the city. It had been run out of City Hall. They flipped it over to us, and when we were looking for somebody, we knew we needed somebody that had good people skills, good communication skills. Didn't mind doing some paperwork because there's a lot of documentation in that job. Another job that just recently fell under Wayne is the foreclosure home registry. Wow. You know, everybody in this room knows the number of foreclosed homes we have here in Douglasville. He's got one man assigned to him that's in charge with every foreclosure in the city of Douglasville to keep them on the registry so we can keep tabs with who's responsible for keeping that property up. Wayne also has two other people that work the commercial side and the residential side. Like I said, that everybody wants us to be proud of where we live in and make it respectable. So not only for the folks that live here, but the folks that come to spend money here and visit with us. And at this time, I'm gonna ask Wayne, because he's very articulate. I would like for him to say a couple of words to y'all. And then, as the guy they work with, this is such a joy to get to showcase your folks. We don't get to do this near enough, and I'm proud to get Wayne up here as our supervisor here. Now, this one employee here, he is selected by command staff. This is who we vote on, and we say, you know, who stepped up, who took the heat, and this man stepped up for us this year.
Thank you, Chief. I do want to thank the American Legion. What you've done for us is really spectacular thing you do for the employees of the county and the city, and thank all of y'all for coming out. Just feel real honored that I've got this award tonight and that I was given the chance to take on a new project. I didn't know anything about code enforcement when I took it over. And sometimes I wish I didn't know anything about code enforcement, because I've certainly learned a lot of things, but I've enjoyed the challenge. I've enjoyed being given the opportunity to shine, and I hope that I can continue to do so and make the police department and the community proud. Thank you.
You know, real quick before we move on to our next recipient tonight, who's our Officer of the Year, I've heard a little bit talked about nepotism. I'll be honest with you, we try to keep nepotism on the DL at the police department. We've done that such a good job at it. A lot of y'all probably don't realize, long-term employee, Darren Shaw is actually my pappy. Y'all probably didn't realize that, but he's been doing this a long time. That is a joke. A couple of you getting that, but that's what you get for not showing up where you're supposed to be. So he'll know next year he needs to be here. And actually, Darren Shaw was one of those that used to chase me around when I was on the other side of the law. Chased me down on foot one night when I was in a car. Yes, he did, in cowboy boots. True story. I had to crack a little joke because, folks, this next one's going to be a tough one for me. I can't even get started. Our Officer of the Year, selected by our peers, is unequivocally one of the most amazing women, not only that I've had the pleasure of working with, but I can honestly say I feel like she loves me and I love her. The battle that she has went through this past year, and a lot of you know it, I'm not going to talk a lot about it because, like I said, y'all won't see me get up here squalling, is just phenomenal. She's been an example to every person that comes in contact with her, not only at the police department, but in our community. The personal struggles that she's went through, and I can't think, talk about not getting complaints. I never remember this officer ever getting complained on. As somebody that's worked with Donna for a long time now, she left us, came back to her senses, and came back home. I know without a doubt she's got my back. And in this job, that's all you can ask for. Is knowing that I can trust this lady with anything that I've got. My finances, my home, my kids. And and the reputation that we've tried to build at the city of Douglasville. She currently works in detectives. She's got a tough gig over there in detectives. She works with some of the worst cases I think we have in law enforcement, and that's crimes against children, domestic violence. I can tell you that, you know, I've been doing this a couple ice cream seasons now, and it doesn't get any easier when we have to go out on calls with kids, when young folks are involved. It's tough for us, especially, you know, a lot of y'all know I got 6 kids now, from 2 to 20, so don't let the gray hair fool you. It's tough when we go out here and have to do what we're doing, and because there's some mean folks out here, people, that will hurt you for no reason at all. And when we come in contact with these cats that have mistreated our young people, our most defenseless of citizens we got, it's tough. It is tough to do the right thing sometimes, but you got to be professional. You got to do your job, and you just got to let some of it go. Donna is, like I said, if she's ever had a bad day, I've never seen it. I don't know about it. She smiles all the time. One of the things that she's taken on last year, she and Beth got heavily involved with the Relay for Life. I don't mind telling you, they killed everybody in the whole county. We came in first place. Well, a few months later, this lady was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she has fought a fight that I can't imagine. But she's done it. She's never once complained. She's been on light duty, but with Donna, there ain't no such thing as light duty. If that balloon goes up, you can't hold her back. She's going, and she's getting in the fight. And I'm gonna turn it over to Donna. I could keep going on about her. I'm gonna ask her. She's a special lady. Dude, where you at? That's her husband standing over there. This man has been a rock of Gibraltar. He never left her side during this whole ordeal. I only hope I could be that good a husband.
Thank you, Chief. I'm honored to get this award, and I got to correct you, though. I don't work child cases. It's domestic violence and elder abuse. Yeah, sorry. That's okay. I know you were nervous, trying to keep from crying. But I'm honored to receive this award. I can't thank my department and my peers enough for the support that they've given me, the love that they've shown me through my battle. I don't believe I could have done it without them, and I just thank you. Last, but certainly not least, we have the Douglas County School System. We have the Douglas County Teacher of the Year, Lindsay McEntee, and the presenter will be the Superintendent of Douglas County School Systems, Dr. Gordon Pritz. Please come forward. And
we have one more person from the Douglas County School System that will be receiving an award tonight. She couldn't be here. Her name is Corinne Barnes. She received the Foreign Language Association of Georgia Lifetime Achievement Award, and Dr. Pritz will receive that for her. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lindsay's about 6 months pregnant, so she told me I better keep it short. We're very honored to be here tonight, and we thank the American Legion for this opportunity to participate. I don't know that the school system has been a part of this for very long, but it's certainly my honor and privilege to be here to represent our school board and all our employees. We have 3,500 employees. About 1,800 of those employees are teachers, and they are the ones who serve our kids the closest. All 3,500 of our employees serve our kids, but our teachers are there each day, and they're the ones that are making a lasting impression for a lifetime on our kids. Lindsay teaches at Beulah Elementary School. She's a 5th grade teacher there, finishing up her 3rd year at Beulah and her 5th year of teaching. She was selected by her peers at Beulah as the Teacher of the Year at Beulah. And then she went on into the county competition as one of our 34 Teachers of the Year from across our district of 25,000 students. And through a panel interview and visiting her classroom and analysis of her application, she was selected as our county Teacher of the Year, representing those 1,800 teachers. And we are so very proud of her. She gives her life each day to the kids. And those of you who think back in your lifetime of somebody that influenced you, I'll guarantee you there's probably a teacher in that group. And so Lindsay is that teacher for our kids. She does a tremendous job, and we have so many teachers just like her, but she stands out. And I am so honored and privileged to be here tonight to present her with this award, Teacher of the Year for Douglas County Schools. Congratulations, Lindsay.
Well, this is the end of our presentations for tonight. But before I give the program back to our Post Commander, Wessinger, would like for all the recipients to please stand. And we really appreciate your phenomenal contribution to the community. So the recipients, please stand. I want to leave one thought for the recipients. Mae West, who was an actress, a playwright, and a screenwriter, said, "You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough." And I know you agree. So our Post Commander, Charlie Wessinger, and I thank you for allowing me to MC this program.
We'll be brief. I want to thank Ramona for an outstanding job she does for the Post in Public Relations. She works very hard to get with the people in the community to find those people to give these awards to. We do this each year for one purpose, to show our appreciation from this American Legion to the people in the community that work so hard for us and protect us and do the things they do for us. Our Legion family, with the auxiliary, SAL, the Riders, and the American Legion, we got over 1,500 members in this post. We all work together as one good big family. And we try to do the right thing in the community, and we really enjoy this. We look forward every year for this event, because the Post takes such pride in it. Two things we do in the community is this and Memorial Day when we put flags on all the soldiers' graves in Douglas County. So that's two things we pride ourselves in. So the appreciation, this thing started originally several years ago, and a low-key thing. How many remember Earl Lee? Well, most everybody remember Earl Lee, but we started with the Sheriff's Department, the Fire Department many, many years ago, and Earl loved rabbit. And so we had a crew of people here at the post go out and get rabbit and cook for Earl because he loved rabbit. So it started that way, and it growed and it growed and became a big event for us, but we really appreciate it. Ramona, thank you again. I want to thank the staff of the American Legion. Our department commander is very proud tonight. He is the commander of over 50,000 members in the state of Georgia, and we made 100% today. If everyone would rise, we'll get the sergeant arm to salute the colors, and we'll adjourn.
Reset. Home. Order. Home.
Good night, everyone.